It's episode 22 of the MicroMuse, and today I am joined by the wonderful Jill Robinson, author of the Embodied Core and previous MicroBook Magic alumni. And so, with no further ado, Jill, hi, thank you so much for joining me. And
Hi.
in your beautiful studio with your beautiful backdrop. Gorgeous.
I like to think I'm next to the sea, and then every now and then a seagull flies past, and I think, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, well, it kind of does look like you're by the sea, and I'm a little bit envious. But we are here today to talk about your wonderful book, which I feel like it's backwards. I don't know how to make it backwards. It's called The Embodied Core.
Let's just move it around a few more.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It started as a microbook and ended up slightly bigger, but that's cool. Tell us a little bit about your book, Jill. What's it about? Who's it for?
Okay, so I started writing my book as a microbook. That's why I joined the MicroBook course. And it's about pelvic pain in women and back pain in women. And when I started writing it, I realized that the medical advice, hadn't really caught up with what the science was saying, like the new science, that in men, back pain is predominantly because they're sedentary or they're overweight. In women, that's not the case anymore. And a lot of women were coming to me as a Pilates teacher saying that I've got really bad back and pelvic pain. Doctor said I need to exercise more, I need to lose some weight. And I was thinking, right, I'm going to start researching this because it just happened more and more. And this is what I want to write a book on. And when I started looking at the science is not saying that at all for women. It's saying that they're not breathing properly. Breathing has a massive effect on pelvic and back health, or their bowels weren't working. Breathe.
Yes. That's on my thing, yeah.
So breath is a massive thing for women, and pelvic pain. Bowel health was a massive thing, and bladder health. So the 3 Bs, breath, bowels, and bladder, were more influential on back and pelvic pain in women than actually being sedentary or being overweight. And I found that really interesting because when I started talking to women who had back and pelvic pain, most of them had some kind of pelvic floor, so bladder problems and pelvic floor problems like incontinence or stress incontinence. So when they would wet themselves when they cough, laugh, or sneeze, which is a sign that the pelvic, it's really hard to diagnose because it's the same for if a pelvic floor is tight or if a pelvic floor is loose. Most people think that it's because that the muscles are getting weaker, but it's not. Sometimes it's because they're overdoing the pelvic floor exercises, which is creating more tension, putting more pressure on the bladder. If you think those muscles are getting squeezed, so the bladder and the bowel get squeezed. So there is knock-on effects for everything. But when we started actually working with the breath and with like actual, bladder health and bowel health, because there's a lot of things that you can start to do, they actually were getting better. And it had nothing to do with whether they lost weight or not. So I thought, this is interesting. So that's how I started writing my book. And that's what it was going to be, a micro book just about pelvic and back pain in women, just for that bit. But then it got bigger. So then I thought, well, really, if we're looking at bowel health and bladder health, we need to look at hydration and nutrition. So there's chapters on hydration and nutrition. And then I thought, because I work with lots of women, and then there's a lot around boundaries and hormones, of course, but boundaries around time, like we put everybody else first. And then I kind of got into a bit more mystical, esoteric stuff around energies and the energy systems, because they are all intertwined as well. So it grew a little bit. And also it comes with a full video series, which also took a bit more time. So it did grow, but that's what it started.
It didn't mushroom though, because I've got a word for when people, and like everybody does it, it's like, oh, I need to include that and that and that and that and that, and it becomes tangential. So it didn't mushroom, but yeah, and it didn't become massive. It's 145 pages, so it's still like a nice, a nice size to not feel like a great big tome. So and it's such a useful book as well. I thoroughly enjoyed going through it as you were writing it, and it sits on my shelf. So so what made you decide to do MicroBook Magic and kind of work with me?
Well, because I already knew you and I'd been working with you for many years. I think the reason that my business is here today was because of you originally, being the person. And I found all the old journals that you used to send out the other day. I've still got them all in a big pile, and they're so good. So anyway, Vicky was the first person who introduced me to marketing, to sales, to like how to market, how to write, basically. You taught me how to write for my business. I came out of a job, a corporate job, and when you do your business, you love what you do, but you don't necessarily know how to market yourself or do any of that stuff. And I would say that was possibly one of the most important things that I learned, that you taught me, was how to write for my business. So I already knew that you knew how to write things, knew how to teach how to write things. So I know it wasn't like the same kind of stuff, but you were just naturally the person that I would have gone to ask somebody how to write a book, because I knew that you'd already written one. And so I would only ever want to take training from people who actually can walk the walk necessarily. And so I knew that you could walk the walk.
Jill, I think you're the first person to ever make me cry on one of these calls,
Yes, it was because of you that I am here today.
Oh. See, this is like, and if you're watching this video and you take nothing else away from this, talk to your clients sometimes, because you'll find out that you help them in ways that you never knew, and then it'll make you cry in public on telly. That's lovely. I'm like, that's properly made my day. Thank you. Okay, so tell me, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience in MicroBook Magic. What did you enjoy about it?
Well, so I'd started trying to write it by myself, but with everything, life, there's big excuses that I hear from everybody else as to why they can't eat properly and exercise. I had those excuses for why I couldn't write my own book, and I was kind of just getting a bit lost with it. So what happened was the Micro Magic gave me some structure over 6 weeks, wasn't it? 6 weeks? Is it 6 weeks?
Oh, yeah, it's grown a bit now, but yeah, it was 6 weeks when you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 6 weeks where I thought, right, 6 weeks, that's achievable. And if I concentrate and focus, then I can get the bones down, the framework and all of that. And then what you taught us to do was like how to, set it out, how to just not get overwhelmed by it all, because I think that's what was happening to me. That was like, it's such a big task, isn't it, when you think, I'm going to write a book. Everybody says it, don't they? I'm going to write a book. I've heard so many people say it, and then I've never ever seen it materialize. So it is, because that's exactly what it is. It's overwhelming. It's too big. It's too big a thought in your head when you actually start thinking about, right, okay, I need to have introductions, I need to have this, I need to have chapters and all of that kind of stuff. So what the MicroBook Magic helped me was to framework it out, plan it, and not get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that it's the same for people you work with as well. They're like, oh, I can't do this because I haven't got time, is usually, and it's almost never time. Sometimes it is. I'm not going to sit here and say it isn't, but like you said, it's almost always the fact that it's a big overwhelming thing to start with, and of course you haven't got time for that because you haven't got time to do something that you don't know where to start. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful, like going through, like actually, and it's the same as what I do for people, is just break it down into small, tiny habits and just gradually build them up each week into like a snowball. And then once you start, it's like, yeah, I can do this. Like, we have got the time, even if it's like 5 minutes a day, just get something down on the paper. So yeah, that's what worked for me. Just breaking it all down, tiny chunks every week, doing something different.
Amazing. And what was it like when your book first arrived and you opened it up?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was like, it's mine. Yeah, it's really weird to see it in print because you spend that long, you kind of dissociate from it a little bit, I think, because you spent writing it is the easy part, really. It was the rereading it, all the bits that you helped us with, but the typesetting of it and all of that kind of stuff. the technicalities of actually going from, right, this is in my head to like, this is in my hand, it's a massive journey to go from there to there. And when you actually get it in your hand, you're like, I can remember when the Amazon box arrived from the driver, and I was just like going, and the driver was going, what? Why are you screaming at me? Like,
this is my book. I wrote this.
And I was that excited about it. And I think I put a picture on. I was just like, nobody can, it's like giving birth. It's worse than giving birth. It takes longer.
But hopefully less physically painful.
I don't know.
That's gonna be my new marketing tagline. It's like, this is as painful as giving birth. Emotionally.
Totally is, and at least when you've got a baby in your hand, you know, everybody's congratulatory. When you've got a book, they're all like, oh, all right, okay, yeah, you wrote a book. But some people really appreciate the fact that you've wrote a book. But most people just go, oh, right, yeah, that's good.
You know what? It's given me a really funny idea for a video. I'm just writing it down because this is like I'm on literally on a live stream and I'm writing it down.
This is a picture. This is me cradling my baby.
I'm gonna swaddle it. Like, I've got no idea. I don't have any children, so I don't know how. But I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos and find out how to swaddle a baby, and then I'm gonna do it with books, and it's gonna be hilarious. Jill, thank you so much. Can you tell us how to buy your book?
Oh yeah, so it is on the Amazon. But you can also get it off that other one, that I can't, Nielsen's, if you just type in, or you can get it off my website. And if you buy it on my website, which is www.organicpilates.co.uk, I'll send it to you in the post.
Lovely. And then you are giving more money to a small business and less money to Jeff Bezos and his penis-shaped rockets, which is only a good thing. I will put the link down down below the video so that people can go to your website and get it. And where can they follow you and find out more about you?
So my Facebook and Instagram are Organic Pilates and Holistic Health. And my website, sign up for my newsletter, download some free things. I've got loads of free things on there. I just did a keto diet book the other day. So if anybody wants any free things, just follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
I will drop those links below as well. Jill, thank you so much. This has been an absolute delight. Just gonna finish with my usual 5-minute takeaway, which is the same for every single episode this week, is set a timer for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, and write about the thing that you have the biggest feelings about. No thinking, just writing. You can think about it later. Maybe that will be the start of your microbook, and maybe if it is, you can sign up for MicroBook Magic Season 7, which is starting on October the 20th. It's very exciting, and you can go to moxiebooks.co.uk/microbook-magic, and I will pop the link for that down below as well. And yeah, keep writing. Jill, thank you so much. This has been delightful.
You're welcome. It's lovely to see you too.
Yeah, I will be back soon, everybody, with the next episode of the MicroMuse. Ta-ta.